This is the Bluff Town Council public hearing. The public notice on the petition to vacate the southern part of an alley in Cottonwood Addition subdivision, section 26, Township 40 South, range 21, East 18, located adjacent to 156 West Street, Bluff, Utah 84512. What I'm going to do is turn this over to Erin Nelson, and this is the petition by Mike and Pamela Yaris to vacate a portion of that.
Yes, so the town does have a formal process to vacate alleys and rights of way. That information, as well as it's the procedure, as well as resolution 59, which the procedure references is all on our website. And so essentially similar to many other land use applications, the petitioner comes to the approving body. In this case, it is town council and not planning and zoning, because this is talking about vacating what is, the town alleys do belong to the town. And so you, town council, would be the approving body. The Yarises have filled out the paperwork, which is included in your agenda packet. This information is also available on our website, since we are required by state law to host a public hearing. And in this hearing, essentially, we'll hear from the petitioners, where they'll explain why they're making this request, as well as any nuances with the property. I can definitely share some maps so folks know exactly what we're talking about. And thank you for reading into the record on the property in question. One of the things that I did want to just quickly mention before I turn it over to the Yarises is that we have received a few comments in the past week after the public notice was posted regarding other parcels, other properties. For any vacation, folks do need to follow the proper procedures. As I said, everything is listed on the website as to where to go. It's under forms and applications. So tonight we are just talking about the alley that this petition is about. So for those of you listening in, wondering about other alleys, you would need to follow the same procedures if you had questions. So I just wanted to make that really clear. But council, you should have received the packet. Late this afternoon, I did forward you a few documents regarding the utilities. Thank you so much, Pamela, for sending those over. But at this time, unless anyone has any initial questions, I would like to turn it over to the Yarises to talk about that. And then any of the documents that you've sent over, I'm able to share with folks. Just let me know and I can share those on the screen.
And before Ms. Yaris starts speaking, let's do a quick roll call.
Oh, good one. Sorry.
No, you're good. That's okay.
Britt Hornsby.
Linda Sosa.
Jennifer Davila.
Luanne Hook. Ann Leppanen.
Erin Nelson, serving as town manager. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. So just as some background, in 2018, we had requested the vacation of this alley from the county, and we were told that at that time, nothing happened for several months, and we were told that someone from the incoming Bluff town government requested that not happen. So this isn't something new that we've wanted to do. It was something that was in the books. We knew that Amr had requested that and gotten that vacancy on his half of the alley, and that was something that needed to happen. This came back up because of our discussion with our solar and where our property line was, etc. And again, we just want to make it right. Amr's got his half. My understanding is that we should have our half of the alley, and it needs to be corrected. That's the whole thing. We had originally thought that we were going to have to we needed it in order to complete our solar project, but we did go back to the engineers and ask them to re-engineer that. And so we have it, so we can move forward the project as is. So we will be away from our current property line. And so we're moving forward with that since we already have that permit. And but otherwise, we just want to, to clear this up, something that's been hanging out since 2018 and needs to be done.
I just wanted to make sure council received all the documents. The property in question. There's no confusion as to where that is located over on the west side of town in Cottonwood Addition. I know if you could speak to just briefly, you received back the utility confirmation. Rocky Mountain Power did indicate, although they do have lines there, they indicated that it was not going to be an issue from their perspective. Is that correct?
Correct. They are, he's going to send me a letter. I did forward you another email that I just got before we came over. And it was an email from Brian Bridge with Pacific Corp. And he said that he can't sign anything until he has a signed agreement with Amertuma for access, since that pole does land on the north side of that alleyway. It's not on the part that we're asking for. But he's kind of holding us hostage in a way, that he won't give us that until Amr gets that signed, and he hasn't sent the document to Amr. So Amr's more than willing to sign it, as is indicated in this email. He did call and leave a message with Brian Bridge, indicating his willingness to sign that document, that they just have to get it sent over. So it's just a matter of, transferring that document back and forth that we're waiting on. He he did say that he would have it this week. So I don't know when you vote on this.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it is not on the agenda today. We've included, so it would not be voted on today.
Right.
But I do think that this is going to kind of hold up council until we receive that confirmation.
Yeah.
And then after that, council can determine how to get that on to vote. So thank you for that. I know that was something Ann and I have been talking about.
Yeah, I did send over the one from Emory Telecom and from the Bluff Water Board. So.
Excellent. And both of those, there were no conflicts or issues. And just for everyone listening, it is really important that we work with all utility companies to understand how current and future potential easements might have an issue. I mean, that is a huge function of the alleys to ensure that folks have access. But what you're getting back from the utility companies at this time is that there would not be a concern with that for this particular alley. So that is a big one for us to confirm.
And in addition, that alleyway, that is not really of use to anyone else besides Amr and us. There's really nothing that would impact the public per se, or even our neighbors. So
I was going to say that is, for folks listening, an important element that adjacent landowners were notified. The RSS did send us confirmation of who all was notified, and it looks like that is all in order. And so again, just, we want to make sure that we're minimizing impact, and if there were any negative impacts, that it was brought to the board's attention so it could be considered prior to the vote.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we take any other public comment either in the room or then online? And then if the council has any specific questions for the RS, we could ask those. So if you just want to have a seat, and then we'll see if we have anyone in the room or online.
So I did, just for folks listening in, I did just open up the chat box. So as Ann said, we'll make sure that no one in the room has additional public comment. We'll give folks time. You can either put your name in the chat box or raise your hand. at this time, and we can kind of queue folks up if they have public comment. You are limited to 3 minutes. And we would randomize if we have comments. I'll give folks in there. I didn't have anyone sign up as far as I know on the sheet over there. Thanks for checking on that, Jen. Getting shakes over there. And then I do have attendees online. Maybe we can just give it probably about a minute, just make sure there are no questions about the property in question, no questions about the process. Very specifically, we're looking for public comment about potential impacts to vacating this alley, potential impacts of vacating this alley, excuse me. And again, if folks want any light reading, please reference all of our documents that are online and explains the entire procedure, as well as that resolution 59. I think that's a good one for folks to look at if they're thinking about this particular petition, or if they have questions about alleys and the town's stance on alleys. All right, I am not seeing anyone online who's indicated that they'd like to make a comment.
And there's no one on the sign-up sheet in the room.
No one on the sign-up sheet.
So does anyone on the council have any questions? This isn't the time for us to debate it, or certainly to vote on it or make decisions. But if you have any clarifying questions that we can ask of the RSs.
Can I just comment? I would like to thank the RSs for going through the proper steps of presenting this thing, because I think that part of the goals of the town is not to necessarily stop people from doing things, but trying to set up a step and procedures in getting them done. So thank you for taking the time to work through the steps, because I kind of think this is the first official one that we have been presented with.
They have been our guinea pigs, and I am eternally grateful for your patience as we work through this, because there are a lot of boxes to check.
Yeah, we started up ending our day coming back from Monticello with me saying, oh, Pamela reached out and they're not going to be there. And I said, okay. And Erin says, they have to be there. Like, what? They have to be here. So, you know, we started on but thank you, Deb. It helps when we have processes and we're able to follow them. Anybody online?
Still not showing anyone's hands raised or any other comments at this time.
I just have one question, and you may not know the answer off the top of your head, but when you talked about 2018, do you know roughly when that was?
I have a copy of the letter that was, I did not. Okay.
Well, if you happen to run across the date, if you would just let me know, because we incorporated in August of 2018. And I would have thought.
I believe I did it because we took over the RV park in April of 18, and I believe I did it right. It's either April, May, June-ish, right in there. And then I didn't hear anything for several months, and then they said no. They had been requested not to make any changes, and so that put everything to stop on that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have a question?
Do we know when they gave Almer? Do you know when the county gave Almer his part?
In early 2018. I know, I believe it was recorded in early 2018.
Well, if there's no one.
I'm not showing anyone. Just one procedural question I have. I know for public hearings, we often allow comments for a period of time after a public hearing. Is that the intent of this time too? And if so, if we can let the public know that time frame.
So under code, people have 10 days to send in a written additional comment or a written comment. And you would direct it to the, our website under office.townofbluff.org, or put it in the mail. Our post office box is 324, and or drop it off at the office. And almost always Erin is tied to her desk or Malia is strapped underneath her. So you'll find somebody in the office. If not, just let me know and we'll make sure someone's here. All right, it is 5:52 p.m.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I'm turning off the recorder and thank you, everyone.